Hello out there. I'm really glad that you found this page. Thank you for your interest and your willingness to listen and be part of this. This is a huge project. We are, as a group, trying to save Bikram Yoga. So, I imagine you found this page either because you were a regular practitioner and found how much the yoga might have even saved your life or changed it for the better dramatically. Maybe you're a current practitioner with or without a studio, or maybe you've never tried it and you would like to. Either way, through this page you'll have regular access to the potential. This yoga practice is huge and can transform so many mental and physical health issues into, well, health. I've got lots of podcasted classes available here, videos, posts, and even chapters of our book that we published on Bikram Yoga and autoimmune disease. So a lot of resources for you. To me, the most important thing is that Bikram Yoga is available as a health practice for the next generation. And this has been my mission since long before the pandemic. When I opened in 2013, I just thought, I need this to be around for people. Not just me, we all need it to be around. In our culture, some things are subsidized: mathematics, education, social studies, English. There are certain things that are going to be around no matter what for the foreseeable future. But a traditional yoga practice is not one of those things. Yoga studios have popped up. Yoga seems to be a popular thing, but in my view, yoga is not actually very commonly practiced. Very little yoga principles are being transmitted, and it's really important for yoga to be supported by those who know its value. Many people don't know its value. They think it's a whatever they think, stretching class, fitness class, sweat class, I don't know. Anyway, that's okay, they just don't know yet. But those of you who know that Bikram Yoga is so powerful, it's really up to us as a collective to keep it available. This has generally this responsibility sort of falls on those who have opened studios, and myself and many others I know have gladly taken on that mission. Sometimes it can feel burdensome, but it's one of those things that we know is so important. So every time there's hard times, we just pick back up and keep on going. The trouble is with the pandemic, when it started, I'm not going to say back then, during the pandemic, we're clearly still in it, and maybe for a long time anyway. More than half of the studios I know of closed their doors permanently. Prior to that even happening, though, the Bikram practice was disappearing for a variety of reasons, and that's something I'll talk about freely in various materials I share. Generic hot yoga's already confused the public and almost never trains students in the principles of traditional yoga that the Bikram practice does. So anyway, with the beginning of the pandemic, so many places closed. Those who have stayed open, most have done so out of absolute passion, mission, dedication, not because we thought it was practical. Okay, myself included. Before the pandemic, I was able to just stay open on a very kind of meager nonprofit salary for myself, but gladly doing it because I love the work and I know how much you all need it. But when the beginning of the pandemic started, all but the most serious yoga students vanished. Okay, so those who absolutely need it as a health practice, they're here, they stayed online. Thank you. If you're one of those people, you kept practicing every day, paying your membership fees, etc. But so many people canceled with the thought, well, I'm not going to get what I usually get, so I'm not going to pay what I usually pay. Unfortunately, I get the reasoning, but that reasoning's not going to work for yoga to be available. So the thinking that, I'll go to the studio when I'm ready to come back. Unfortunately, it's not going to pay the bills. It's not paying the bills. And I know many of you want to be able to come back when you are ready or in the mood or your life works. There's a lot of reasons why we stop and start. So anyway, as the pandemic happened, I worked more. I live stream all my classes, teaching almost everything at the studio. Recently, we've incorporated some other teachers. But anyway, what happened early on was a lot of that work, and it's been great. Now we have students from across the country and a podcast of Bikram Yoga classes. But the time now, okay, so that's been almost 2 years. I've been gladly continuing. But now the time is to turn this One of my students used to call this a one-woman show, but I really think it's not a one-woman show, and now is the time to really make it into a collaborative, collective, cooperative effort. Now that might mean some of my students, you might be watching this as one of my students, wanting to donate a little bit more to help us meet our monthly budget. That's awesome. You might be someone who's never even taken my class that says, gosh, I love Bikram Yoga, I want it to be around for somebody or myself or who knows, just somebody out there when they're ready. I'm in this position, it's a very challenging position. My landlord's demanding rent that I have, some of the rent I have not been able to pay. I've paid most of it, okay, 4/5 of everything I owe has been paid, but in order for me to live at a very basic level, I've not paid 100% of my rent. I've paid about 4/5 of it. So anyway, my landlord's saying, I'm gonna evict you and pay or get out. And even if you leave, you have to pay, okay? On the other hand, I have my students saying, we need you. You must stay. My health and sanity is dependent on this yoga. So I'm listening to both of you, and you're both real, okay? I have given this studio, and I continue. No matter what happens, I'm going to be teaching online, so you never have to worry about no class. But to keep this space open as a physical, heated, amazing, we have the most amazing ventilation and good airflow filters, sanitation. It's like the best hot room I've ever been in. I'm not trying to brag, it's just a really good hot room. I have given this place all the intelligence, energy I can muster just to keep going, okay? So now, almost 2 years into this pandemic situation, everyone's habits have become something different. My monthly budget is $6,000 under where I need it to be. The revenue is, I have some revenues coming in, but I'm short $6,000 every single month in 2021. Now, I've gotten some grants and loans, and by underpaying the rent, I've been able to go and keep going. But going forward, we have to sort of change how this works. So we have a budget, and we can only sustain this place if we meet the budget. So right now I'm $6,000 under every single month. Now I know that sounds like a lot, and people are thinking, there's no way I could help $6,000. Well, there's a lot of people out there who care about this yoga. I've got, a good 100 regular current practitioners, another 150 to 200 former practitioners who I know care about this place. And if you put that together, do the numbers, if everyone can give some amount, if you're paying now, if you can give more, if you're not paying but want to come back someday, a certain amount would be very helpful. If you live across the country and just want there to be Bikram Yoga, and you can give, or you can even ask your relatives, hey, can you pay $9 a month or something to the studio I want to survive? I think we can do it if we understand that it's a collective effort. I see so many studios close. They'll put a post on Instagram or whatever and say, sorry, we're closing. And a lot of sadness comes on the comments. Oh, I wish it would have been open. I was going to come practice there. I really loved it. It was so great. And the comments reflect that it's like, oh, so sorry you couldn't make it work. As if it's just that one person that is needed to make that work. I don't think we're in that time anymore where one person, I cannot force this to work. I can put in 100% of my effort joyfully. I love it. When the moment I'm teaching, I'm so happy. I love teaching every single moment, and I will continue to do so. But to make the space and the finances work, I cannot do it by myself. So we have to shift, I think, the thinking to, could we do it? Could we as a group support the yoga? And like I mentioned, yoga is not subsidized, okay? Our tax dollars, 1 penny or 5 cents from everybody is not subsidizing this. Health insurance doesn't cover that. That's a whole other problem in our world, okay? So I think we as a collective, anybody who is interested in this practice surviving, we need to come together. And this is one of the ways. You might have a studio near you that you're keeping open, and that's wonderful. But if you can feed into us, we're in the middle of Michigan in East Lansing. There's very little Bikram Yoga left in the state at all. I want it to be here for the next generation. I want it to be here for the people who don't even know it exists yet, don't even realize it could transform so many issues for them, and really heal their lives. So I will make you one guarantee if you support our studio and our page here. You'll be getting absolutely amazing Bikram yoga teaching. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, I'm so great, but I will pay attention and I will give you the best class, each one of you, if you choose to take live stream, or even if you listen to the podcast. People get things out of the podcast and end up joining. So I very, very, is it humble? I don't know if it's humble or begging. I want this yoga to live. So if you care even a little bit about Bikram yoga existing, please support our page here, support our studio, and please understand it is ours now. This place is ours. This yoga is ours. It's not mine. I need you. Okay. Thank you very much for listening.